All right, welcome. This is the Know Your Numbers podcast, a Better Books broadcast. And today we have a very fine gentleman in the name of Aharon Goins joining us. He has quite the resume in terms of military experience. He's working at W-2. He started his own business, and I have just learned that he's also building a team. So I'm excited to dive into all these topics that he can cover. And yeah, I'm just blessed to have aligned with him and have him on the show. So welcome, Aharon. Thank you for being here. Can't wait to dive into all of it.
Hey man, thank you so much, man, for being on here, man. It's a pleasure, man. I'm ready to roll, man. How you
Hey,
doing,
let's
man?
go. Let's go, man. Yeah, and one thing I saw when I was going through your resume and your profile was that you kind of have a big presence on uh whether it be courses and educating others, but also Clubhouse, and that was kind of what you were talking to your social media person a little bit about, if I'm not wrong. So I'd like to hear about how you got into well, I guess we can start with how you got into real estate and then how you saw that as a way to educate others, and then how your experience has opened up doors in terms of Clubhouse and teaching others the way of real estate and the importance of investing.
So when I was in the military for 16 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I got out the military, I didn't do real estate at all. I got a W-2 job, and in a year into the W-2 job, a coworker came to me and said, "Aharon, you'll be here for another 20 years."
Mm-hmm.
And I thought to myself, "No, I won't." And that's when my entrepreneur spirit came.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I started going down different things like multi-level marketing, drop shipping. But eventually I got into real estate a couple of years ago. And it's been cool. It's been great. And this year I opened my Clubhouse room because I really think that there's a big gap in education with especially people in the military who don't really know much about their benefits.
Yep.
And I wanted to have a Clubhouse room where people can ask questions and hopefully, get into real estate and start building generational wealth for them and their families.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I started my meetup as well, so that people can learn all different niches in real estate. I think a lot of times on different meetups and podcasts, it's one niche, but I want to talk about a lot of different niches in real estate, not just what I'm doing, commercial multifamily, but also small multifamily and tax liens and deeds and self-storage and things like that. So I wanted to be universal as far as different things in real estate so that people can learn and, start applying it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And to do that, you need a vast knowledge of all things real estate. So where did you start educating yourself, and how have you grown as an individual, and what do you turn to for the education in all those different aspects? Is it books, podcasts, or you name it?
I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
And when I first got started, I hired a company to help me with wholesaling because I wanted to understand wholesaling, took the course, and then got into learning about Airbnb, took a course with somebody, took a course learning about residential living. So it's more about, for me, about courses, but I did read a couple good books like Joe Fairless's book about apartment investing,
Mm-hmm.
and some other books. And I also have a coach who's helping me out as well, who's navigating a little bit for me. So and just getting the material too, just reading material, learning, writing down stuff that I learned from podcasts. So just trying to do all those things. I still have a lot to learn, but
That's good. Well, honor to you for the humility, because you also have clearly learned a lot to be in a position of where you are. And I'm intrigued by the military experience and how that has shaped your mindset and your beliefs. You said you were told that you were going to be there for 20 years, but that was a quick no-go. Was that just who you are, or was that shaped by the military? Or let's dive into a little bit more of who Aharon is and what got you there, and some of the things that you learned along the way.
So I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, and I got into the military about 10 months after I got out. I graduated from high school, and that was probably the best decision of my life.
Mm.
I've traveled the world. I've been to 3 other continents besides North America. See different cultures. It's made me more open-minded to different things. And just seeing how people live, people eat their food, and different cuisines, and it's just crazy. So I really enjoyed that. But like I said, when I was no one in my circles talked about real estate or anything like that. A lot of times we talked about debt, and we talked about we call it thrift savings plans, it's like IRA, 401k kind of thing. And a lot of times when military people deploy, you see a lot more Dodge Chargers pickup trucks when they come back, because people really value cars. If you go to a military base, you don't see no bad cars for the most part. You see a lot of newer, shiny cars and trucks in military bases. And that's something I just realized, and you ask a lot of people that. So, like I said, when I got out, I was still doing it. I got me a W-2 job, but I think a lot of times people in the military, and there's nothing wrong with this, but the dream is to work 20 years in the military, get out, work 20 years at a government facility, another government agency, or a civilian job, work there 20 years, and now you're 60 years old or so, and you get your retirement checks and maybe Social Security, and now you're living a life. Now you can travel the world, and you're free.
Yep.
And I didn't want to be like that. And there's nothing, like I said, there's nothing wrong with that, but I didn't want to do that for me. I wanted to have a life where I could have residual income coming in, and start traveling the world more. I love traveling. I mean, really got me, being in the military really got me, in that mode. I want to travel and see the world. There's just so much you can see in the world. So I want to do that earlier. So, and that's and then also spend time with my kids. So that was my main reasons why I got into real estate. And I just love it. And I love the camaraderie. I love how people are willing to help you along your path, where other businesses, they will not, they want to hold all the information to the vest. But in real estate, people do want to help you out and be there for you. So I really enjoy that.
That's good, man. And you touched upon the fancy cars that you see on a military base, and that's interesting, but I don't think it's only military professionals. I think that's a large part of who we are as Americans, is we always want the next best thing. When did you learn that it wasn't all about the material items, and that it was more important to be preparing for the future? Was that something that you were raised upon, or was that something that you kind of learned as you went along?
It's something I learned
Yeah.
as I go along. Because like I said, I think that in our society, in my society, cars, jewelry, things like that are more valued than, getting real estate. And, you just, as you evolve, as I got older, I evolved and start seeing things for what it is. So, and then also reading books, reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, just listening to motivational speakers, and just your conversations with people. You start to learn a lot, and your eyes start getting big. Like, wow, I wish I knew that sooner. But it is what it is. So you have responsibility once you learn something to teach others, especially younger people, so they won't make the same mistakes as you. So that's really what happened with me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so, have you always been in real estate investing, or have you tried the stock market and the other alternatives, or has it always been? And was Rich Dad Poor Dad like, I'm going real estate all the time kind of thing?
Actually, no, I got into real estate before Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Okay.
That didn't propel me into it. Actually, I was into real estate already. I just wanted to read that book. It sounded so intriguing. Everybody talked about it. So, and I love the book. But no, I just got into real estate a couple of years ago. Like I said, when I was in the military, I didn't do it. When I first got into my civilian job, I didn't do it. But once that entrepreneurial spirit came and real estate, people talked about real estate. I started looking at numbers at real estate. Wow, people are doing big things, and you see that most billionaires are into real estate or doing something with real estate or have a fraction with real estate. Stocks, I wasn't really keen to, so I didn't really get into it. But real estate attracts to me because it's something that you can touch, you can feel, you can look at, you can, do inspection over. So that's what attracted me to it.
Wow, that's cool. And there's so I have a lot of people that are in the W-2 world and looking for more, but might be holding themselves back by thinking that they're not prepared or the job that they're in doesn't serve the real estate world. What would you say to somebody like that? How has your position at Boeing, and not necessarily in the real estate world, how has that shaped certain parts of you to help you in the real estate world, if at all?
Well, it goes back to being, it really is a numbers game, man. It really is, because most people you talk to, they want it, but they really don't want it. They want information, but they're not going to really take it.
Right.
From my experience, I think that, like, you have to change your mindset. That's the number one thing. You have to change your mindset. You don't have to be a W-2 employee for 30 years if you don't want to.
Right.
But you have to know that being an entrepreneur comes with risk. And you got to be comfortable with that. You got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. You got to make certain sacrifices. When you're working for yourself, you probably work longer hours, especially starting off.
Yeah.
It's not just you become an entrepreneur and all of a sudden you're rich in 2 months. That's 99% of the time doesn't happen. So but it's a reality that it's something that you can do. Believe in yourself, educate yourself immensely, surround yourself with people who are doing the same things you are. Iron sharpens iron. And I think you'd be in a good place. A lot of times, what businesses close after 1 year, 50% or something like the business close after 1 year. So it's out there. It's not a guarantee. Nothing is guaranteed in life.
Right.
But if you surround yourself with people, educate yourself as much as possible, and don't be scared of risk. But make it educated risk. Look at your numbers. Don't make emotional decisions. I think you'll be fine.
That's good, man. I have a little note card over here that says buy not on optimism but arithmetic, and I feel like that's kind of where you're headed there. And I will ask, what numbers do you tend to look at when you're evaluating a property? You said commercial. Are there some things that are of the utmost importance to you? Are there certain things that you just know right away it's a good or bad deal? What sticks out for you when you're looking for those grand slam home run deals?
For me, I just want to make sure that there's growth first. Is there growth in the property that I look for value added property? Is it growth in the area where the property's at? Number one. Number two is, if it's multifamily, what's the returns for my investors? I look into, I'm not a capital raiser, but I'm a syndicator. So I'm always looking for what's best for my investors first and me second. So that's very, very important. So, is it 2x multiple? What's the cap rate for it? I don't want a low cap rate. What's the IRR for it? So that's the main thing I'm looking for too. I'm not thinking about myself, I'm thinking about my investors first.
Yeah. And now some people are a little intimidated when you say things like cap rate, IRR, maybe even ROI. How can you explain that a little bit to somebody who doesn't fully understand, or how does somebody get to the point where they do fully understand what you're talking about there?
Well, I think that's just basic for multifamily stuff. I mean, for all together, I think that you just got to educate yourself. I mean, understand the market rate. What's the internal rate of return? That's IRR. Capitalization rate. What is that? So I think that those are things that you just had to really just study, and just look at. I mean, it's not that hard. but I just think that it's things that because every property is different. So you really just got to study and have a general sense of what those terms are. I mean, like what's your cap rate for this? What is your IR for this? So I just think that like you have to really just understand the market, and then you will you'll have a better sense.
Yeah, that's good. Appreciate that. And let's see, I want to touch upon a little bit, and you mentioned a little bit there, your why. You hear all this discussion about why your why, or what is your why, and how it needs to be of the utmost importance. And you mentioned family. I'm sure that plays a huge role in it. Where do you find your motivation to keep going, and to push, and to take on some calculated risk, but also to know that you're able to do it because there's something under the surface?
Well, I mean, I'm really, I have my kids, and I that's always a motivational factor. Spend more time with them. They're in high school now.
Wow.
So I'm always looking for that from them. I just want to spend time with them. They're military kids. They've been out for a long period of time away from me because they was overseas. And then also, I mean, there's a lot of people who I want to educate. I want to educate people. I want to help people out. I'm always trying to connect people with others. So,
Yeah.
The more I succeed, the more I can provide to others. Because this is not a generation now where you tell somebody do it. This is a generation that they got to see it.
Yeah.
You got to have results, right? So,
Yeah.
I'm striving for that as well, to help others. I definitely, that's something that inspires me. And going back to the cap rate, like the cap rate is a rate of return based on the income of the property expected to generate.
Yeah.
So you got to understand what it is. Like, for example, let's say it's like a property you purchased for like $12,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the net operating income is like $960,000.
Yeah.
So your cap rate would be like, I think 7.8%.
Mm-hmm.
So it's things that you got to just memorize and study for a while. You don't do it one time. But I just want to give that example because I understand I was kind of vague on it, so I wanted to be a little bit more specific with the numbers so that people understand.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that, because that helps quite a bit. And I also think it helps to understand that it doesn't come right away. You've been in your current position at All In Homes for almost a year now, which is awesome. But I'm sure like the education has been going on for a little while before that, right? And
Right.
we currently live in a situation where I'm no stranger to it. We expect things right away. So I think it's reassuring to everybody to know that it comes with practice and repetitions. And so thank you. Let's see. I do the Clubhouse thing to me is intriguing. I'm interested how that's worked out for you, how you started that, and what you've seen as a result of that. What do you do with Clubhouse, and how do you get people involved, and how have you seen that it boosts your mission and your business as well?
I think that Clubhouse has been an avenue to really help people out.
Mm-hmm.
My room is called a Military Real Estate Investing Hour. Let me give you numbers, since this is a numbers podcast. My room isn't just for military, even though it's called a Military Real Estate Investing Hour. It's for everybody. Anybody can come onto it, civilians as well. But only about 15% of all veterans, that's about 19.8% of Americans. I'm sorry, 19.8 million veterans in the United States, right?
Yeah.
Only 15% of all veterans use a VA loan.
Wow.
And the VA loan is a no money down loan that you can use to buy a house or 1 to 4 units.
Mm-hmm.
Only 15% use it. So that's a
Wow.
very, very low number. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think that, we have to educate our brothers and sisters in the military to use the benefits. only about 22% of all veterans use their tuition assistance for like college. That's two very, very low numbers for the
Yeah.
benefits that you have done, you have fight for, and you have earned.
Yeah.
So I'm really confident about telling military people, veterans, use your benefits.
Yeah.
Because they're there for a reason.
Mhm.
So my room, the Military Resident Investment Hour, is basically a room to help people out. I mean, you come on there. I have different moderators talking about different niches in real estate, and we just, people just come on stage and ask questions. We try to help them as much as possible,
Wow.
or just educate them about things that we know. And I always tell people on there, closed mouths don't get fed. Please ask questions.
Mm.
And sometimes I got to needle people to do it, but the whole thing is educating people. That's the whole reason of the room, is to educate people and help people out as much as possible. I'm not trying to get a benefit out of it. I just want to see and help people as much as possible on there. And my moderators feel the same way.
Yeah. Well, that's admirable. And honestly, I think we need to expand that a little bit. I mean, why are we, that boggles my mind that it's that low, 15%, which means 85% are not doing it. And I feel like that's, I mean, it's scary that it's the military, but I also feel like that's something that is our general population, is that there's so much information out there that people do not have, from adolescents to adults. And honor to you for trying to make it a more public thing. That's awesome. And I'll have to check it out, because that sounds pretty interesting.
We have a good time on there, man. We have a good time. And
Yeah.
we got some good people in there. I have a consistent deal of moderators on there who are on there talking about their niche, and then we have people who pop in that are friends or who want to, say their due. And so it really gets pretty good. And it's funny too, because it's at 5:30 Eastern time.
Mhm.
And a lot of times I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna have the room open for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But when that hour and a half comes, then we start getting more and more people. So we got to extend it, because, people start asking questions and things like that. So, at first it's kind of bare, and then all of a sudden it just blows up.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How long have you been doing that?
I've been doing this since the springtime. I think we've been doing this since May. I think no. We did it in, I think, April.
Wow.
April. Yeah.
And that's and you're stuck with it too, because I feel like a lot of people have kind of gone away from Clubhouse. It was like this big thing, and now nobody really talks about it. So
Right.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
it's absolutely. You can feel it. You can see it. You can see that. Some of the rooms are much smaller and things like that. But I enjoy it. Like I said, as long as people are coming on there asking questions, and we'll keep the room open.
Wow. And so how many people do you have usually? Is it a consistent number, or?
I would say it's not a big room. It's not, it's not a big room. I
Right.
would say it's about 40 people, 40, 50
Wow.
people. Yeah,
Good.
yeah. I mean,
That's big by my
it's not a
standards.
big, yeah, it's not that big.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm gonna have to check it out. I got to get back on Clubhouse. That's cool. Well, Aaron, I do want to be cognizant of your time. I will close with a couple more questions on what the next couple months and maybe into next year looks like for you. What are some of your goals in terms of the business and the investing world? When do you expect to be fully out on your own, if you're not afraid to say? Yeah, a little bit on the horizon. What's up for Aaron?
I want to get into I want to raise as much money as possible.
Okay.
And that's providing and helping people out as far as getting to deals. Being part of a team that I can, because when in commercial multifamily, once you are part of a team, it's like a 3 to 5 year marriage. Most people are looking for value add property or startup property, and it takes time. So, when you're part of a team, you're there for a while. So you got to make sure that you can do a good background check on your teammates and make sure that you like them. No, like, and trust. So I want to get in part of the teams and do my role, and being part of exciting, different niches, different I would say that a good team. This overall, I say a good team. It's a
Right,
good team
right.
I can bond with and things like that.
Mm,
I would I can't really put a number on when I want to be in doing this full time. I do want to
yep.
do this full time, but I think that I'll keep that right now because once I get once I get a couple deals, then I'll have a better understanding of where I'm at. And
Right.
I want to have consistent cash flow. I might want to do some fix and flips as well.
Mm,
So right now, it's just still still developing everything.
amen.
I have somebody helping out with social media now. Maybe get a VA in the future, but right now it's just me and just working on trying to get in deals, trying to have more investors who want to get into deals that I can build a relationship with, and then hopefully in the future be in future deals with me.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, again, I appreciate you being here. If there's any way that somebody can connect with you, how should they go about it? I know that you have LinkedIn. I also know that you have a website. Is there something you prefer in terms of contacting you with any potential relationships or opportunities?
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Just look at my name, Aharon Goins. You can email me, aaron.goins@gmail.com. I have my website, All In Homes, ALLINHS.com, All In Homes. So also you can follow me, like I said, on Clubhouse. It's a military real estate investing hour every Thursday at every Wednesday at 5:30 Eastern time. And my meetup, All In on Real Estate, is every Thursday at 7 p.m.
Wow.
And so you guys can find me anywhere like that. And I love to connect with anybody and try to help them out as much as possible. So man, I just want to say thank you, man. Once again, man, to be on this podcast is an honor. And yeah.
Hey man, that's awesome. I love it. And yeah, let's keep this conversation going. I look forward to aligning further. And you're out in Washington, right? Is that
Yes, sir.
Tacoma?
Yes, sir.
Maybe one of these days I can come out there and buy you a cup of coffee and some lunch or something like that.
Yeah, it sounds awesome, man. It sounds awesome, man.
All right, brother. I appreciate you. And yeah, I'll touch base and let you know when we're gonna release this. But thanks again. Have a great
Thanks,
rest
man.
of the day, and I'll see you soon.
Thanks, man.